Welcome to the Innovation Squadcast, making a positive difference in learning through innovation. Welcome to the Innovation Squadcast, and thanks for making us a part of your educational PD journey. First-time listeners, welcome, and for our returning listeners, welcome back. We are glad you are here. Today, we're talking about one of our favorite tools, MagicSchool AI.
Woohoo!
Yay.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Nicole Lapointe.
I'm Eileen Fernandez-Parker.
I'm Pam Hubler.
Priscilla Calcutt.
We are so excited about MagicSchool. It's the beginning of the year already.
Mm-hmm.
I think we were just here doing an end of the year podcast. Now we're at the beginning of the year. So
It seems like
we know there's always so many things on our plates that we have to get done before students come. So we thought, what better podcast than MagicSchool? Talk about some time-saving tips, how to be more efficient, some of the fun tools they have that you wouldn't even think of. So we're going to talk about all those good things today with MagicSchool.
All right, let's get started then. We'll go ahead and start with just welcome and setting the stage, like in the beginning of the school year, that strong start to the school year, and how we can use MagicSchool AI to save time, boost creativity, and all that stuff, because it's hard to think of all that in the beginning of the year. So how do we want to start? Lesson planning, I would assume. You want to try listening planning? Start?
I mean, we just met with some of the new teachers the other day, and we asked them, hey, what are some of the things you're already thinking about? Because, you know, as educators, we're always thinking throughout the summer, and they were saying lesson plans for sure. You know, they need to know what they're going to do to get started. And of course, MagicSchool has some fabulous tools that you could use for getting started, getting your lesson plans created and crafted.
And how many times have you wished you could have an administrative assistant
Right.
to help you get things done? That's how MagicSchool can serve you. It really is like having an administrative assistant.
Yes,
It
a
is.
thought partner.
Yeah.
A high school volunteer.
Yeah. And you can just simply put in your ideas. You don't have to have everything, you know, tied up with a bow on it. Just start with those ideas and get that conversation flowing with the AI using those prompts, and it will keep giving you additional ideas, just like that assistant would if they were sitting right beside you.
Right.
And if you don't know where to start, I love the little filter button. And if you're watching, it's halfway down the page for if you're on the tools, it says filter by categories. So we were thinking, all right, what are some of the things I need for planning the year? And when you click on it, there's a planning category, and it tells you some of the good tools you can use for that. Or maybe communication. You want to communicate with your parents ahead of time. So make sure you do the filtering, and it kind of categorizes it for you.
Yeah. Because they're up to 86 tools now.
Yeah.
So you definitely have to filter.
Yeah. And it'll just group those tools that will help you with that particular item.
And once you find one that you really like, just click on that little star so you can favorite it, because they do have a sorting feature now with favorites, where if you click on it, then it'll only show you your favorites. It used to be at the top,
Right.
but now you have to click on the favorites to show those.
Yep.
So the lesson planning tools, we did screenshot some of them for the show notes. So if you're not sure which ones you want to use, it's got a regular lesson plan, the 5E lesson plan model. That's my favorite because it has it engage, explore, explain, elaborate, and evaluate. All you have to do is just put your content in there, and it'll give you an amazing start. PBL, the project-based learning, SEL lesson plans, and then of course you can always use Arena to do anything. We talk all day.
Yeah. Right. And I love, Pam, how you said it gives you a great start, because you never want to print something out and hand it in just from chat or from MagicSchool or AI. You always need to make sure that the human is looking over it, because you know best. So make sure that you always preview things before you send it out. And AI is, it can misspell things too. So for that reason, especially, make sure you're checking it out.
Well, lesson plans, you know, we're doing throughout the year, but think about the very beginning of the year. You need emergency plans, so you could use those tools for that. For e-learning, the beginning of last year, we started off e-learning. So remember, use those for those types of lesson plans as well.
All right. And then we also have where you can do dive in a little bit further with the planning, with the syllabus creating and unit planning. So if you could literally spell out your entire year as far as a structure and outline using the syllabus generator and the unit plan generator. I think those are some of the favorites, especially like high school teachers seem to really like that because they have a syllabus.
Yeah.
And it has an amazing template.
Yeah. When I was teaching high school English, the syllabus stressed me out because you only do it once a year. You don't get good at it, right? And you just pray that somebody even looks at it after you spend all this time. So having something create the format for me and I just go in and tweak, what a gift.
Yes.
You'll notice a little tip too if you're looking at our show notes. Once you have created any of these, whether it's in Raina or in one of the tools, go ahead and go to the export button and you can download it as a Google Doc or a Word document or a PDF to print. And if you have it as the Google Doc, you can save it in your drive and you can tweak it from there or share it with your team. And then you don't have to recreate it every year, or you can just, edit it a little bit here and there.
There are so many different download options too, depending on the tool. Like I didn't realize that when you create a quiz or something like that, you can download it as a Google form where it literally has the answers already ready. You have to check just like you always do with everything else to make sure the answers are correct. But it is you can just automatically download and within seconds you have a Google form started where you can go through and tweak it, adjust your points and all that kind of stuff. And then the presentation one, that's another one. Once you have a lesson plan created, you can say, okay, now I'm going to go ahead and take this over to my tool for creating a presentation. And you can download it as a Google slide. And then you have the content. It separates out by pages. It's not going to be pretty, but it has the content there and then you can make it your own. So there's lots of different ways you can download these to use immediately.
And that's the key. Immediately. It's done and you could count to 5 and then, there you go. It's created already.
Yeah, you have that starting point. It's so much easier to start with something already there than to start from scratch.
Right.
Yes.
Definitely. All right. What about classroom management? That's one thing, especially our new teachers we were talking about. That's one of the things that stressed them out in the beginning of the year.
Yes.
What kind of tools would we use for that?
Yeah, that has a classroom management tool, and you can also fall back on using Raina as well. But not only at the very beginning of the year, but throughout the year. You might notice some behaviors in your classroom that are not conducive to creating a great learning environment. So always lean back on that classroom management or going to Raina and asking it or prompting questions, how can you help me? I have this group of students that continues to talk during instruction. What are some strategies you can give me? And you would be surprised how many strategies that it can give you. Some of them are like basic off the cuff that you may already know, but you would be surprised at new strategies that you might come from those searches.
Yeah.
Right.
As a first or second year teacher, or even more, it's like having a mentor like Obi-Wan Kenobi who knows everything throughout time. It just blows my mind.
All right. How about newsletters? That's another thing. That's very common in the very beginning of the school year. Even if you don't use them at like the high school level, they may not do newsletters as much. But it still is a nice structure to be able to get that information out. So what kind of tools, what ideas do we have for that?
I know a lot of the teachers were putting it into Raina, create a newsletter, and they were kind of prompting it, okay, I want bulleted items, or I want enough space for images or something, which led us into, and you could even use the image generator in Raina to come up with those images for your newsletter. So one thing led to another. So you can use Raina, or you can use the class newsletter tool that they have as well.
And they also have a great translation tool.
Yes.
And it's at the very bottom of whenever you're doing your prompting and things like that. If you look over there, you'll see translate. And that's not only good for newsletters, but any type of content that you put into Magic School can be translated.
Right.
And that helps so much with that, homeschool relationship.
Right. And now we've got a very large Portuguese population. So you've got your English, your Spanish, your Portuguese, and it's done in a flash.
Yeah.
And we try it out every time too.
Yep.
Every time we're with a new group, we'll try a different language and
Yes. And then parent communication, that's huge,
Yeah.
especially because you may not be best at writing email. I am not. Like, how can I say this in a nice way or a professional way? And they do have two of the tools. Professional email is one of them, and then email family is another one to help you with the communication for families.
There's an email responder as well. So you could take the email you got, put it in the email responder tool, and like you were saying, you can tell it how you want it. Please, answer this parent in a non-judgmental tone, or can you come up with ways to help me explain the child's not really putting forth their best effort?
Right.
And, some people said they used that L word, the lazy word, but when you put it in Raina or put it in the tool, it came out nicely and gave suggestions as well. So,
Yeah.
Just don't copy and paste.
Yeah.
Like read it first and tweak it, make it your own. Because sometimes we have gotten emails before, you could tell this came straight from AI. So it's like, let's go ahead and make it sound like you before you send it to.
Right.
Yeah, you can suggest that
Yes.
put it in a more casual tone and things like that, but it ties right back to that classroom management. If you're struggling with classroom management, need to communicate that to the parent, these are awesome tools to help do that.
All right, what else? We've got some, how about the fun stuff, like the icebreakers, team building, getting to know you activities. Those are super important because relationships are number one.
Yes.
That's the
Right.
first thing you do.
Right.
Yes.
From the beginning. And that doesn't mean you can't use this throughout the year.
Right.
You can keep coming up with some.
Yeah.
So I was in there and I was thinking, all right, I want different types of icebreakers. I pretended I was a high school biology teacher and I said, come up with some fun, engaging activities, an icebreaker, and I teach biology. And they came up with biology bingo, the DNA name game. And so they list these, but they also explain, or Raina will say how you can do these games, or biology Pictionary. There were so many different ones. And so then I did a little different. I said, all right, give me a fun, engaging icebreaker for fourth grade. And they came up with, different ones like balloon keep up or the spider web game. And, they give all different types of examples.
And you can keep on asking questions, keep on prompting it. And then if you do have the information, and then you're like, well, I need more, just keep on asking.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
or I only have 15 minutes and I need to get this completed then. But these are great tools also to share with administrators or folks that plan on parenting nights and other things like that, because icebreakers really help things get started and really loosen up people, make them feel more comfortable in that environment. Sometimes parents entering a school building might be a little uptight and maybe they didn't have the best experience when they're in school, and we want to make sure that they feel welcome.
Yeah. And 3 of my 4 children are introverted. And so they don't like to talk in front of large groups. And so those little small group activities that you do, those are lifesavers for the introverts. The extroverts are all out, having a great time. But then inside the student tools section, there's a rap battle, which is so much fun. When we use these tools with kids, they were laughing right out of the gate. There's a joke generator. And when I think about the first day of school, I think about, I want my kids to want to come back tomorrow.
Yes.
So if you get your kids laughing on that first day, chances are they're going to want to come back.
Yeah. Yes. And we will do another podcast on the student tools specifically. We want to make sure the teachers were good to go, but the student tools are pretty amazing.
Yep.
And you could even add in your prompt, I have a group of introverted students, and some of the icebreaker activities, there was one, nobody could talk throughout the icebreaker. So, that would work. You could have a variety, to touch all the students.
All right. And we do have a couple more things in the show notes. So it's like the welcome letter, kind of giving you some ideas on how you can use it to get even a sample prompt if you want to try that. And then also like that meet the teacher event, like you were talking about, Priscilla, just as far as how you can ask Raina to kind of help you guide that event to get it started.
Yeah, teachers often struggle when it's a drop-in event because parents are coming in one at a time, and to making sure that every parent feels like you welcomed them and had time for that conversation, and then to manage all those little small tasks that need to be done during that meet the teacher night.
Yeah, I'm always amazed at how much it will give you when you start out with this, and then down to timelines. I mean, it's crazy how much it can help you with.
And I put in there, I prompted something about, help me create a newsletter or a welcome letter, meet the teacher. I teach fourth grade, whatever my prompt was. And so what's really cool, if you're using Raina also has different guiding prompting
Yes, the question.
ideas,
Purple, yeah.
questions, right? She'll
Yeah.
say, what about this? Or are you interested in some engaging things for your parents? So I said, sure. And then it added some of those things to my newsletter. So I thought that was cool. So always pay attention to the guiding prompts that she has or she suggests.
It's like she's reading your mind.
She is.
All right. Did we have any other tools before we wrap up? We could go on forever talking about it.
Right.
Well, we do have the resource of like the anchor charts that we created. A part of our AI Navigator has a lot of resources in there. And don't forget that AI Navigator, if you do need that at the very beginning, is in ClassLink under Employee Resources. AI Navigator is right there, and the anchor charts are linked there as well. And then just, of course, just starting out the year prepared just helps lead to positive, productive classroom environment. So just use MagicSchool to help you out. Be that thought partner and increase your productivity because we all have the same amount of time. we all have the same amount of time, but, we've got a lot to do in that amount of time.
Absolutely.
And you can tell the teachers or people who are using it because when we were asking questions, what are some of the things? They're like, oh my gosh, this saved me so much time.
Right.
So once you get into MagicSchool,
Yes.
It's going down a real deep hole.
yes, yes,
A lot of fun and a lot of productivity there.
yes.
And then, of course, if you need any support, reach out to your ILC. We've been more than happy to help you
Yes.
how you can use this, especially when we're talking about student tools. We can help you to show you how to do that.
Right.
Yeah, we can even tell you who the top user is in your school.
Yes,
Yes.
that too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. We hope you found today's episode helpful. Don't forget to check out the show notes for the resources that we mentioned today, including links to our podcast video and the Innovation Squadcast PD available through Unified Talent. And then just stay connected. Subscribe to our podcast on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. That way you know when they come out. And we want to hear from you too, because we want your ideas. So if you have an idea for a podcast, let us know. And we'd love for you to have a guest join us. So share your thoughts with us. We're excited to engage with our amazing community.
Even if it's something to add to this podcast, we want to know. We learn from all these ideas we hear when we're with teachers. So
Yes. Yeah. So
Wishing everyone a great start.
yes.
Yeah.
Happy back to school.
Yay.
And until next time, keep innovating.
yay.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.